Hi guys, Berry Babe here, checking in. Well, we got back from the lake yesterday. And you know what I did today? Not much. Not much at all. I have been clearing out clothes, hanging them up. Worked on that some last night, but today, not much. This is not an HCG boutique item. This was a Kohl's clearance with a coupon that I bought several years ago. The top is all elastic, and when I bought it, it was one of those suck you tight. It was before I had my arms done, and so it was obscene. So it's been hanging around and hanging around and hanging around, and after I had my arms done last summer, I got it out and I tried it on, which my breasts were still massively filling up this space, and showed it to my husband. I was so excited because I knew eventually, like, my arms would work. Well, now I've had my breast clipped and there's just all kinds of space. It's like it's got elastic in it, but I don't need it. So I'm going to talk about food because, as you know, today's day 18, P3 18. And so far I'm still in ketosis, heavy duty ketosis. Last night was dicey. Last night was real dicey. I went over by quite a bit on my macros. This morning I really expected to wake up and had it's kind of an effort moment. Now, I didn't eat massive amounts of super high sugar things, but I ate some things that it was not prudent that I would be eating them at the end of a whole day of eating. Because you can gain weight on ketosis. You know, the lower I get, the fewer calories I'm allowed to have. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to weighing in the high 200s. And so you can eat a lot before you eat up to your daily calories. And on that scale of mine, every time the scale went down, the amount of calories went down. It was like, shoot, it's like you're being penalized. The lower you get, the less you get to eat. Excuse me, allergies still bad. Now, I know that makes biological sense, but it doesn't make emotional sense. I should be rewarded. So I had an achievement tonight. I am not an adventurous eater. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if you bring me a new cake, I might try that. Or a new kind of candy bar, I might try that. But vegetables, regular food, not so much. If it's not familiar, I don't want it. I've never had, I say I don't like sweet potatoes, but I don't think I've ever tried them. I've seen yams at Christmas time, but I've never had a sweet potato with, all the stuff they put on it now. And so it may come to that because when people on keto splurge, it's usually on a sweet potato. But I don't know if I've talked about it, but I have been trying to learn to eat these shirataki miracle noodles. Not the ones made with tofu, but the ones made with glucomanum, something like that. It's got some M's and some N's in there. Excuse me. And I had bought a bag. I've got 2 bags of fettuccine that I haven't cracked yet. And I had a bag of rice. And I had opened the rice and gotten it ready. And I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I make this, when I get a steak, I get a Domenico ribeye. And I can't eat a whole one. And I have them cut real thin, but I still can't eat a whole one because of my pouch. It's just very challenging. And I like the fat crispy around the edges, so I take the piece in the middle. It's about that big, 50 grams to be exact. And I cut it into real little pieces. And then I take water chestnuts which do have some carbs, and I cut them. I dice the meat real fine, and I cut the water chestnuts real fine because I'm not real excited about the crunch. I like the crunch. I'm not so excited about the water chestnuts. It just occurred to me I might be able to put a little celery in there, but I don't know if that'd change the flavor. Anyway, I use a teaspoon of cornstarch, which has carbs. There are other thickening things I should use, and probably eventually I will try that. But for now, I just was looking for what was familiar, my last batch. And then I used a tablespoon last time of soy sauce. Well, it made just a little pile. And it really, even with my little pouch, wasn't enough. And then I was looking for more food. So that really was a no-fat dinner. It still really was a no-fat dinner, but this time I did it. And we had steak on vacation, so I had a piece of steak left over. I took those rice noodles, those little rice things, and I had bought a flat sieve, screened. And so I rinsed them really good, and then I shook them off, and I put them in a fry pan with some butter, and I kind of dried them off that way, scalded them so they took all the water off, because they have the water is fishy. And Keto Cooking with Christy shows you how to, she says just rinse them, they use them a lot. And then I went online, and one of the ways you can keep them from being so slimy is to sear them in a hot pan before you use them. So I did that, and I mixed it together. And when I ate it, and when I ate it, they were just like zeros, like placeholders. Zeros before the number, just placeholders. Elementary school teacher here talking, can you tell? The steak had texture, and the water chestnuts had texture, and the rice, there's no texture, but there was enough chew and enough crunch that what the rice did was just kind of slid down and filled the space. So when I finished, my pouch was full, which is what I was looking for, because before I'd been so empty. So weight-wise, I was up again this morning. Now last night, I drank 5 cans of caffeine-free Diet Coke before I went to bed. I know, I hadn't done it. I'd been trying to go back to iced tea, and I didn't even take Coke with me on the trip to the lake, and it was just like, I'm still an emotional eater, and I was trying not to emotionally eat, so I was emotionally drinking. And I'm sure that I'm holding fluid, but it's starting to get a little ridiculous. But Sammy's mom says, something's happening, hang on. I'm seeing changes in my body even as my weight is going up. So I do feel kind of bloated, and my legs feel full. I had discomfort in my toes again last night. I don't know what's going on there. I ordered some glucose testing strips. I'm going to test more aggressively. But I was 79 this morning, which 80 or below is good. I had 1 or 2 red blips this morning, and my blood ketone number was like 1.2 or 2.1, one of those two. So I was good stead. And then tonight when I did the ketonics, I had 3 red blips. So I don't think what I ate last night that was on the edge has damaged my being in ketosis. Thank goodness, because this isn't like HCG where it takes you 3 days to catch up. This takes you 3 weeks or longer to catch up if you throw yourself out of the keto adapted state. It isn't just, oh, you have to wait till you're you know, it takes 3 days for you to dip purple with your urine, but when you're doing heavy duty, it can have dire consequences. And my brain, I was telling myself, cut it out, cut it out, cut it out, but I continued anyway. So, okay, so today I have made a concerted effort to short myself in the protein and the fat category. Tried in the carbs, but I'm having trouble with the carbs. I think I'm at 22 net carbs already, and I'm going to try to be done, but I don't know. But I'm way low on my protein and pretty low on my fat. So I've been trying to figure out. One of the vlogs I was watching today, they were talking about how if there's no fat, then your body's used to burning fat, then it will easily go to your stored fat. So there doesn't seem to be a written prescription for it, but you know, some people say you have to push the fat. In keto, Stephanie Keto Person says 200 grams of fat a day, but I don't see how 200 grams of fat a day would push me way over. I don't think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to try to short today, see if that makes a difference. I always have the option of taking a water pill. I hate to do that. Now that I'm not doing the protein, when I was doing the 60 grams of supplemental protein, my body knew it was getting enough protein, and so I didn't hold water. I'm not drinking enough water for the ketotic process or whatever it is. And I know that, and I try to push the water. But you know how that is? Some days you just can't push the water. It seems like it's harder to get down now than it was. So I'm hanging on, day 18. Saturday, the day I go to see the surgeon, will be day 21. So day 22, P3 day 22 is when it gets real. Because even though I haven't stayed by my LIW, I haven't stayed in the zone, I was fasting when I stopped on my last injection weight. And so it's real hard to know what my weight would have been. I should have continued the HCG long enough to refeed, and if I ever have to do that again, I'll know, so that when I get my LIW, I don't have to deal with wondering what it should be. But I think if I stay in keto adapted long enough, that would take care of itself. But it's like, okay, you're P4 now, go for it. Go for it. P4 isn't going to be any different than what I was doing in P3. Except I might feel more inclined to do fasting days or things like that. I haven't wanted to get too, you know, one of the things Simeon says was keep your calories up. So I've been trying to keep the calories up. And I just forgot about that. Maybe with it being toward the end of P3, if I don't eat all my calories today, I'll be okay. Because I'm not exactly sure what calories I should be having. That's all kind of a crapshoot too, you know? I don't know how much. One place you read says 0.8 to 1 body weight, and the next time you read a different source, it says 0.8 to 1 lean body mass. Well, that's two different things, because I'm like 34% fat. So do you take the 140 some pounds and subtract out the 34% fat, and that's lean, and multiply that by 0.8? Or do you take the 140 pounds something and multiply it by the 0.8? So it's all, everybody admits it's kind of a crapshoot. You have to find out what works for you, because some people can do coconut oil and some people can't. Some people it knocks out of ketosis. Some people can do extra MCT oil. For some people it knocks them out. And I'm finding out that if your ketones get too high, your insulin kicks up to neutralize it. Well, hell, I don't want my insulin kicking up to neutralize anything. That's the whole point. So that's all for now. I'm running out of time. Talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.